Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, on the verge of a fourth drought year, Californians could soon be faced with water rationing.
And Los Angeles city officials take to social media hoping to drop one of the nation's biggest hit-and-run accident rates.
Valentine's Day in Torrance offers plenty of options for the old-fashioned romantic.
And Dancing with the South Bay Stars is a success. We'll show you the prize routine. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chin.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. A memorial service was held recently in honor of a former Torrance employee. Friends and family members came to remember Alan Schall, a volunteer and longtime Parks and Recreation staff member who worked for the city from the early 1950s until he retired after 35 years of service. Schall and his wife Lynn were the victims of a traffic accident in Redondo Beach earlier this month when they were hit by a Los Angeles Department of Transportation bus. The couple was crossing the street at Avenue I in Catalina on their way to dinner when they were hit by the bus, making a left turn, killing Alan and injuring his wife. The memorial service was held at Temple Menorah in Redondo Beach.
And two local groups were honored at the February 10th Torrance City Council meeting for their service to the community. The Civil Air Patrol South Bay Senior Squadron 129 is a volunteer group of the United States Air Force and member of the Homeland Security Department. CAP has served our country for 73 years, giving their time and help in emergency service, including air evacuation, disaster relief, and search and rescue operations. Joining them was CAP's Beach Cities Cadet Squadron 107. The unique cadet program Color Guard was congratulated for winning the inaugural Middle School Division Championship Award in the Air Force Association National Cybersecurity Championship in 2014.
With only a handful of notable winter storms this season, California's drought is causing new talk of drastic conservation methods. The Metropolitan Water District, which supplies much of the water for Southern California, decided in a recent meeting that water rationing may be the next step in conservation. Now, a committee is set to discuss the rationing plan in April, and if approved, will begin allocating water throughout the Southland by July 1st. The proposed cutbacks could drop as much as 10% of deliveries from the WMD as a year ago. That would require cities to ration out how much water is available to residents. Currently, snowpack in the Sierra Nevadas is at 23% of its average for this time of year. That's a result of warmer storms, which bring rain with snowfall in only the highest elevations. The much-needed melting snow then feeds into rivers and reservoirs through Northern California, which is where the State Water Project draws its supply.
Meanwhile, the divide between Northern and Southern California grows as the state nears a fourth year of drought. From October 1st through early February, the Silicon Valley epicenter of San Jose received 134% of its average rainfall. In that same span, Los Angeles received less than half as much, still just 70% of the average rainfall here. In a typical year, both the San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles receive similar rainfall totals, around 15 inches. It's a phenomenon that is steadily filling Northern California reservoirs while leaving Southern Californians at greater risk of more fires, smog, groundwater pumping, and of course, water rationing. Meteorologists say it's a result of so-called Pineapple Express storms, which tend to be only a few hundred miles wide, with many of those storms passing over the Oregon and California borders. The bottom half of the state has been left dry. With 2 more months left in Southern California's traditional rain season, political pressure for more ground pumping and rationing will grow unless the regional trend flips.
LA County officials were called on to do more to reach those with HIV/AIDS who may not be receiving the care they need. Now, dozens representing the AIDS Healthcare Foundation appeared before the Board of Supervisors wearing red T-shirts with the number 24,000, which represents the estimated number of county residents who are not receiving medical care to treat their HIV status. According to AHF, more than 40% of that total are residents not aware they are infected with the disease. Now, the board unanimously voted to renew the contracts with HIV/AIDS care providers who provide not only mental health care related to living with HIV/AIDS, but also legal services and help accessing public assistance programs. According to a 2014 county application for federal funding under the Ryan White program, the county is home to an estimated 58,000 people living with HIV/AIDS, many of whom live in poverty.
Hit and run accidents are just one of the many hazards to face in infamous Los Angeles traffic. In fact, the problem is so severe, lawmakers are taking to social media to put a stop to it. Nationally, 11% of traffic accidents are hit and runs, but here in the Southland, drivers flee the scene of nearly half of all vehicle crashes. So, Los Angeles city lawmakers are launching a new social media alert campaign to track down violators. Existing technology will be used to send out text messages of severe or fatal hit and runs, letting the public know of a driver's car make and license plate. Those same notices will now also be broadcast on Twitter and Facebook. More specifically, alerts will go directly to bus drivers, auto body shops, the traffic app Waze, and ride-sharing services such as Uber and Lyft. And the cherry on top for Good Samaritans could include as much as a $50,000 reward for tips that lead to the conviction of hit and run offenders. In 2014, there were 27 deaths and 144 severe injuries caused by hit and run accidents. Los Angeles Mayor Garcetti has announced a goal to end all pedestrian deaths in the city by 2025.
The measles outbreak that traced back to Disneyland in December has caused nationwide debate over vaccinating children. Now that same issue is making its rounds on UC campuses across the state. University of California officials have announced all students will have to be vaccinated against measles, meningitis, whooping cough, and several other diseases, or they won't be allowed to register for classes in fall 2017. A similar policy has been in place through the 23 campus California State University system since 2002, and CSU officials say they don't plan to broaden their list of required shots. As for community college students, there are no such statewide requirements. Under the Affordable Care Act, the price of vaccines is supposed to be covered by UC and private health insurance plans.
The health insurer Anthem announced recently that its database was hacked, potentially exposing personal information of 80 million customers and employees. Anthem said the breach exposed names, birthdays, social security numbers, street addresses, email addresses, and employment information, including income data, but added that no financial information, including credit card details, was compromised. According to Anthem, cyber attackers executed a sophisticated attack to gain unauthorized access to IT systems, gaining personal information related to customers and employees who are currently covered or who have received coverage in the past. Investigators are still determining the extent of the data breach. Anthem said it will notify the affected members individually. The FBI had warned last August that healthcare industry companies are being targeted by hackers following an attack on U.S. hospital group Community Health Systems, Inc., resulting in the theft of millions of patient records. Medical identity theft is often not immediately identified by patients or their provider, giving criminals years to milk such credentials. That makes medical data more valuable than credit cards, which tend to be quickly canceled by banks once fraud is detected. They've established a website, anthemfacts.com, where members can access information about the situation, as well as a dedicated toll-free number for questions about this incident. You can call 877-263-7995.
Dozens of Radio Shack stores in Los Angeles and Orange counties will be closed as part of the fallout from a bankruptcy filing. Nearly 1,800 outlets will be shut down nationwide, while the rest of Radio Shack stores, roughly 2,200, will be sold to wireless carrier Sprint and a hedge fund that was the 95-year-old company's biggest investor. Among those on the closure list are stores at Westfield Fashion Square Mall in Sherman Oaks, Del Amo Fashion Center in Torrance, Tustin Marketplace, the Atlantic Florence Shopping Center in Bell, East Side Town Center in Lancaster, Washington Plaza in Pico Rivera, Fountain Valley Promenade, and Eagle Rock Plaza Mall. Also on the list is the 2510 Cherry Avenue store in Signal Hill. Radio Shack has suffered financial losses in 11 of its past 12 quarters. Southern California will likely take another hit as a result of Radio Shack's Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. The iconic electronics chain plans to sell 1,500 to 2,400 stores to Standard General, its largest shareholder. The company has also filed a motion to proceed with closing the rest of its 4,000 U.S. stores. Sprint Corporation has a deal with Standard General to open mini shops in as many as 1,750 of the Radio Shack stores Standard General is buying.
Well, coming up, celebrating Valentine's Day in Torrance means plenty of options when reaching for the most traditional holiday sentiment.
Dancing with the South Bay Stars has its evening in the spotlight.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language. You talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Valentine's Day is a holiday known for consumerism as much as it is romance. According to a survey by the real estate blog Movoto, Torrance offers a little bit of both. Megan Powers has the story.
Love is in the air, and flowers are one of the most popular ways to show loved ones you care. In 2011, the flower industry generated $280 million for the Valentine's Day holiday.
We cut it short, and then you put it on the base.
The local flower shops in Torrance are busy taking orders, arranging flowers, and making deliveries. Leslie Glass from Plant Gallery and Florist knows how important her role is this time of year.
People are so surprised and happy when you bring them flowers. You just got to be in the moment with them, and it's really a nice thing.
The classic red rose is the most popular flower for this particular holiday. But why?
Well, red is for love, you know, and everybody loves for Valentine's Day.
Red is the symbol of love, and for that reason, that is why most people will go for red.
People are romantic, so they love roses. The meaning of the rose is love. So most of the people, they love roses.
With roses being the most popular flower for Valentine's Day, I asked the experts, what's another good choice?
Gerber daisies are nice this time of year.
Living plants, potted orchids are quite popular. Even traditional carnations are still popular, believe it or not.
Orchids. You can never go wrong with orchids. Orchids are very feminine flowers, and ladies love the orchids.
There are hundreds of different flowers that come in an array of colors. With each meaning something different, you can change the message by the flowers you decide to give.
Yellow, friendship. Every time you want to send flowers to a friend, yellow is a good color, and you mean to be a friend. Purple, passion. Same as the orange. They're passion colors. The pink ones are good for when you want to send flowers to a mom, to a sister. You think about pink. Especially for the grandma. You love pink.
You don't have to wait for Valentine's Day to buy flowers for a special someone. The local flower shops are open year-round.
At the end of the day, you can't go wrong with fresh cut flowers. You definitely will always put a smile on a loved one.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Megan Powers.
Thanks, Megan. As recently as 2012, Americans spent nearly $750 million on candy, cards, gifts, and those beautiful flowers for Valentine's Day.
Well, Dancing with the South Bay Stars was a hit once again, featuring a winner with a heartfelt story. Held for the 4th year now, 12 members of the community were paired up with professional dancers to compete in a one-night event similar to the hit ABC show. The prize? Well, the winner is awarded money they can donate to a nonprofit organization closest to their heart. Each star had at least 20 hours of practice trying to perfect their routine. Seats to the event were sold for as much as $65, while casting a vote cost a single dollar. Now, this year's winner is John Joseph Tang, representing Sunrider International, along with his partner, Stacy McKenzie. Tang donated his winnings to the Asians for Miracle Marrow Matches, a nonprofit he chose in honor of his sister, who passed away from leukemia at just 5 years old.
Well, the Torrance Rosebud Association held their annual celebration dinner recently with a visit from some of this year's biggest Rose Parade stars. Elected officials, Rosebud Association volunteers, and the famed Rose Parade Queen and her court gathered at the Toyota Meeting Hall to acknowledge everyone involved in Torrance's New Year's Day tradition. Madison Triplett, the 2015 Tournament of Roses queen, attended the dinner along with the 6 princesses that made up this year's royal court. They each stepped up to the podium to introduce themselves and update dinner guests on their experiences in the New Year's Day parade. Meanwhile, there was plenty of memorabilia on display of the Rose Float Association's entry, a race well run. It was an effort that won the city-themed trophy for their debut, their tribute, that is, to World War II hero Louis Zamperini. Mayor Fury says the award-winning float helped grow the legacy of the 2015 parade Grand Marshal.
I get calls from the East Coast and Midwest from people who saw our parade. 2 weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at a mayor's conference, and at least 15 mayors told me they saw our float on New Year's Day, and they knew about Louis Zamperini, not just because of the book and the movie, but because of our float.
Congratulations to all of the volunteers. Still ahead, some local events to mark on your calendar.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills.
Check.
Driver's license.
Check.
And a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours.
Dr. King, what's your next move?
In March from Selma to Montgomery.
Selma is loud for every man, woman, and child.
We will not wait any longer.
In front of a crowd.
Mine eyes have seen the glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you have your pen and paper handy. Here are a few noteworthy announcements. On Thursday, February 19th, from 5:30 to 8:30, the Pediatric Therapy Network will host their annual Mardi Gras celebration with live jazz, music, food, and drink tastings. This event takes place at the Biaco Hybrid Hotel, with all the proceeds benefiting the local organization dedicated to helping children with special needs. You can purchase your tickets by calling 310-328-0276 or go online to pediatrictherapynetwork.org. And on Saturday, February 21st, the Torrance Unified School District will have their 34th annual college fair at West High School. This event is open to all students from all the Torrance campuses. The event sponsored by the Torrance Council of PTAs. The district and the PTAs at North, South, Torrance, and West High Schools will offer students assistance as they navigate through the various steps to higher education. The day provides students and parents the opportunity to speak to a variety of representatives from junior colleges to Ivy League universities. The college fair takes place from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. West High is located at 20401 Victor Street. Well, the nonprofit Simon Youth Foundation is seeking Los Angeles County applicants for their community scholarship program, awarding college scholarships to at-risk high school students. Applications are being accepted for Del Amo Fashion Center and Camarillo Premium Outlets until February 25th. Any student living within 50 miles of a Simon property, which includes Del Amo Fashion Center, is eligible for a one-time $1,500 scholarship. The scholarships will be awarded based on financial need, academic performance, community leadership skills, and close consideration will be given to children that are the first in their family to pursue a post-secondary education. For more information, visit the SYF Foundation website at programs.applyist.com/SYF. March 27th is the Torrance Education Foundation Celebrate Education fundraiser. The event funds many of the Education Foundation's programs throughout the year and includes auctions and drawings for prizes. The top giveaway of the event is a 2015 Lexus NX 200T donated by Toyota. The Education Foundation's goal this year is to raise $100,000 to focus on STEM education in Torrance. That's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. All donations benefit students at all Torrance Unified Schools. Visit Torrance Education Foundation to make your reservation today. Now let's check in with Juan Hernandez, the talented Juan Hernandez, who tells us what he has in store from the sports desk.
Hi, welcome into the Sports Desk studio. On this week's show, National Signing Day comes and goes. Find out which athletes right here in Torrance sign their letters of intent to play at the next level. You can catch us and those stories at 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on CitiCABLE 3. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Juan. That does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And I'm Jin Chin. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.